Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and in this video, we're going to be talking about the 7 deadly sins of potential romantic partners. But this basically says that mate preference research predominantly focused on what people desire in a romantic partner, such as deal makers. It was demonstrated that undesirable traits such as deal breakers may weigh more in mate choice decisions than desirable traits. So in this video, I'm going to be covering the 7 deal breakers and explain each a little bit further, and I'll also be linking a study down below in the description if you want to check it out a little bit further. So again, according to the research, these are the 7 deal breakers. I'm going to elaborate a little bit in my own words, maybe why I think they are deal breakers, just to add my little twist on it as I usually do. The first deal breaker is hostile. So hostility or aggressive behavior is generally seen as a turnoff and a deal breaker for many different reasons, I think rightfully so. First, it obviously can create an unsafe or uncomfortable environment, which obviously is not healthy in a relationship. Hostility often indicates a lack of emotional control or an inability to communicate effectively, which are important qualities in a healthy relationship as well. When a man is able to stay calm, keep his composure, and handle a situation with integrity instead of blowing a gasket, it's always received far better by women, and again, rightfully so here. It is so sexy when a guy stays calm and can keep his composure and doesn't have a hot head. Aggression can also be a sign of underlying issues such as anger management problems or a tendency to sway towards violence, which are major red flags and deal breakers for many women. The second deal breaker is unattractive. Attraction is subjective, obviously, and what one person finds attractive may differ from another. However, there are certain qualities that are generally considered unattractive and can be deal breakers for some women. But I do want to mention that this study included both men and women. So I'll say women sometimes throughout the video because my audience is like 94-95% male. So that's who I'm speaking to here, but the same can be applied to women as well. Physical appearance can play a role. As shallow as I know many of you think that sounds, I do think that being attracted to the person that you're with is important. Keep in mind, this doesn't necessarily have to be physical appearance. Attraction is much more involved than this. I do want to also note that individual preferences vary. Not every woman is attracted to the same exact things. What I am attracted to and what my friend is attracted to can be very different things. So that's just something to keep in mind. You all don't need to be little cookie cutter versions of each other in order for women to find you attractive. However, other factors that are in your control, such as lack of ambition, disrespectful behavior, a negative attitude, or poor hygiene, can also be major turnoffs and deal breakers for many women. And again, those are things that are in your control. Obviously, when we're talking about physical appearance, there are some things that are out of your control, and while that's a bummer, we have to deal with the cards we've been given, right? But with that being said, although there are things you can't control, there are many things you can control that pack a punch and make a big difference. One of those being a skincare routine. Big thank you to Tiege Hanley for sponsoring today's video. Tiege Hanley makes taking care of your skin uncomplicated. They provide you with all the products that you need and nothing that you don't. Their level 1 system comes with all of the basics. A daily face wash, an exfoliating scrub, which if you have never used before, you will never go back to a life without one once you start using this, I promise. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you're tough, but you're not tougher than the sun, and a PM moisturizer to use before bedtime. And to make it even easier, they provide this instruction card in every box that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. This is not something that you want to put off because prevention is key. Get ahead of any signs of aging right now. Your future self with skin better than every other guy will thank Courtney Ryan for recommending Tiege Hanley. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tiege Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, access to exclusive monthly deals, pause or cancel at any time, and free US shipping. And because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click that first link down in the description and you'll get 30% off of your first box plus a free gift. Don't miss out on this amazing deal. Click that link and get started today. The third deal breaker is unambitious. So the perception of ambition as an attractive quality is subjective and can vary depending on an individual's preferences. However, some common reasons why being unambitious may be considered unattractive by some people include a lack of motivation. So being unambitious may be seen as a lack of passion or enthusiasm, which can be unappealing to those who value ambition as a source of inspiration or growth or are working on that themselves. The second reason is compatibility in goals. So having shared ambitions and goals can create a sense of alignment and mutual support within a relationship. And if one partner is highly ambitious and driven while the other is completely unambitious, it can lead to just a mismatch in terms of priorities and life direction, which can potentially cause strain within the relationship. Some women may also find it unattractive if their partner lacks ambition because they may interpret it as a lack of drive or potential for success, which can be important for a lot of people in a romantic partner. Ambition, on the other hand, can be an attractive quality for many women because it often reflects a drive for personal growth, achievement, and a desire to pursue goals and dreams. It can be seen as a sign of motivation, determination, and a willingness to take on challenges. Ultimately, having a partner who shares similar ambitions and goals as you can be important for compatibility and shared aspirations. Because of that, many women appreciate a partner who is driven, who is motivated, and actively working towards their personal and professional success. This alignment and ambition can create a sense of motivation, support, and shared purpose within the relationship, and hence why it's very important to a lot of people. Really, this one comes down to considering, do our values align? Do our life goals align? Do our contributions to the world look the same? These are things that are really important when you're thinking about a long-term relationship that should be considered anyway. The next one is filthy. And when I heard that initially, I thought there are two ways that I can interpret this. Obviously from a hygiene perspective, like being physically filthy, dirty, covered in dirt, disgusting, but also from a raunchy or overly sexual angle as well. By definition, filthy can also mean concerned with sex in an obscene or very graphic way. So with that being said, I can absolutely see how both angles that you look at this are applicable here, and I personally would agree. So being filthy in regard to the first way we described it here can be a deal breaker for many people because it often indicates a lack of cleanliness and hygiene, which are important aspects of personal well-being and maintaining a healthy living environment. Living in an unclean or unsanitary environment can pose health risks and increase the likelihood of pests, bacteria, and other harmful substances. Maintaining cleanliness and hygiene is important for personal health and well-being, and being with someone who neglects these aspects may be a concern for many individuals, and I totally understand how. This is one where if you argue with me in the comments about it, I really do not know what to tell you, okay? It's different if you work at a job where you were in the dirt all day and you come home and shower, but the key there is that you come home and shower. You don't just stay filthy, right? I think it's important to make sure that you are cleaning yourself, taking care of yourself and the space that you're in. Living in a clean and organized space also contributes to a comfortable and pleasant living environment for the people there. So disarray, clutter, and uncleanliness can create stress and discomfort for those who value a clean and tidy space. I mean, have you ever watched an episode of Hoarders? None of that, okay? It can impact the overall quality of life and may be a point of contention in a relationship. People obviously have different standards of cleanliness, and when there's a significant disparity in your cleanliness habits and expectations between the two of you, it can lead to a lot of conflict and frustration. So this is something that you really want to make sure you are on the same page about. And if you are someone watching who struggles with this, or you look around and you are like, okay, my room right now looks like I could be on an episode of Hoarders, we need to get it together. Okay, we need to work towards a clean space and making sure that we are not being filthy. In regards to the other definition of filthy, the men who are concerned with sex in an obscene or very graphic way, kind of speaks for itself in my opinion. I think it can send the signal of a lack of respect and boundaries, objectification, and a misalignment in values. An example I could give you here is when men are overly sexual so quickly on a dating app. Most, emphasis on most, women that I know would express that this is an immediate deal breaker. So please start thinking up here. And I understand, before all of you get upset with me down in the comments, that I am sitting here as a woman. I do not know what it is like to be a man and have the sexual desire and urges that a man does, okay? I can say that and be honest about that. However, I think it's very important to be respectful, to treat others with integrity, and to not be filthy, okay? The next deal breaker is arrogant. Nobody likes the arrogant guy or gal. I sure as heck don't, and I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way about it too. It's unattractive and can be a deal breaker for many reasons here. And just before we start, I personally think that character is a bigger deal breaker than anything physical on this list because it's completely in your control to be a better human being. Who you are to your core matters. Who you are in here and in here matters. So again, I think that this one packs a big punch, as well as any other type of character related one on this list. But anyways, back to why arrogance is a deal breaker. It can show a lack of humility and empathy. Arrogant individuals often have an inflated sense of self-importance and may disregard or belittle the thoughts, feelings, and perspectives of the people around them. Arrogant individuals may also struggle with effective communication and collaboration because they might dismiss or devalue the input and ideas of other people. This can lead to a lack of compromise and challenges in resolving conflicts or making decisions together, which are obviously very important things within a relationship. Being in a relationship with an arrogant person can also have a detrimental effect on your self-esteem. Constantly being put down or made to feel inferior can completely erode any confidence and emotional well-being. A lot of women and men prioritize a partner who uplifts and supports them rather than one who constantly displays arrogance or puts them down. Arrogance also often stems from a desire for superiority and control, which obviously is not healthy in a relationship. For deal breaker number 6, we have clingy. The stage 5 clinger. No surprise to see this on the list. I could really go on and on here, but I'll give you the most standout reasons why this is unattractive and can be a deal breaker. Clinginess often involves a constant need for attention, reassurance, and close proximity. Someone who values their independence might find a lack of space suffocating and restrictive. Clingy behavior can also create emotional and psychological pressure on the other person. Constant demands for attention and reassurance can be completely overwhelming and draining, making it challenging to maintain a healthy balance within a relationship. A lot of the time, clinginess also often involves an unequal distribution of emotional investment and dependence. So when one person is excessively clingy, it can create an imbalance in the relationship dynamic, with one person being overly reliant on the other. This can lead to increased stress and strain within the relationship and can also be a sign that this person might have anxious attachment. Being with someone who is clingy may also hinder personal growth and limit opportunities for pursuing individual interests, passions, or friendships, because that person is so reliant on you to be there 24/7. I do also want to note that some individuals may appreciate and thrive in a more dependent or close relationship. It really all comes down to compatibility and what works for the people involved. But generally speaking here, regardless of attachment styles and compatibility, being a stage 5 clinger isn't something that I would consider to be healthy or attractive for anyone. And deal breaker number 7 is abusive, the most obvious and important point on this entire list. The number one, no ifs, ands, or buts deal breaker, in my opinion. Abusive behavior, whether physical, emotional, or both, causes significant harm to the other person involved. It can lead to physical injuries, psychological trauma, low self-esteem, and long-lasting emotional scars. No one, and I mean no one, deserves to be subjected to abuse, and prioritizing personal safety and well-being is crucial. Abuse completely breaks the fundamental trust and respect that should exist within a healthy relationship. It is a clear violation of boundaries, consent, and the basic principles of treating one another with kindness and dignity. Trust and respect form the foundation of a strong and loving partnership, and abusive behavior undermines that foundation. Abusive behavior tends to follow a cycle with periods of tension, explosive incidents, and reconciliation. This cycle can perpetuate a harmful dynamic and create a toxic environment that is detrimental to both physical and emotional well-being. Abusive behavior is not only morally wrong, but it's also illegal in many jurisdictions and can result in legal consequences for the abuser. It's important to remember that leaving an abusive relationship can be really challenging. If you or someone that you know is experiencing abuse, it is crucial to seek help from professionals, support networks, and organizations that specialize in domestic violence and abuse. I also want to mention that I've linked some resources down below in the video description for you. I really hope that none of you are in this situation and need that, but if you are, please, please, please get help. So guys, that is all I have for the 7 deal breakers of dating. If you liked this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. Whether you're a man or a woman watching, let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are. Do you agree with the 7 deal breakers? What is your opinion and perspective on all of them? Have you experienced them in relationships? Would just love to hear from you guys down in the comments. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.